Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Empire Let's Play series. We are over here at the Desert Village, and I did a little bit of rearranging over here. Let me start off by showing you around a little bit, and then we're going to do a little bit of trimming of our armor, a little bit of exploration, and hopefully get started on our storage facility. So this place is finally full of villagers, and after I got all the villagers grown up and looking for jobs, I noticed something. What I noticed was the jobs were so far apart from each other that sometimes they would walk up here and take the job and then walk back down and forget the job. And so I did one thing. I added another staircase right here. This used to come all the way across and connect up here to two different doors. But these jobs were just so far away that the villagers couldn't figure out how to get up here or back down. So now this staircase goes up to these two. This staircase goes up there. And then this one, we've got the farmers downstairs. And I just kicked out the wall. So we have two farmers in here that are doing all the work. And then upstairs, just a little walk up here to where our potion brewing happens. Again, just kicked out the wall. We got this person here making all the potions, and it looks great. I did have a couple of rooms that didn't have workstations in them, and since I took those two rooms away, we now have this place filled up. You'll notice some of the signs have black text, and some of the signs have blue text. The blue ones are the ones that I've traded with. I brought a couple of maps with me so that we could reveal more of the area as we wander back. And as we're wandering back, I can also show you some of the work we did on the live stream. So let's see, let's head over in this direction. Okay, so since we're here, let's hop in the boat and just kind of reveal some more of this area over here. Well, looky here. We got a mesa over here. And it looks like another village. Well, look at that. Interesting. Tons of cats running around over here. I think we're actually going to go off the side of the map again once we get to this village. Yeah, that's crazy. Hello, camel. It's kind of a weird, sprawling village. There's like a spider spawner right there. That's not great. Went ahead and locked a couple of villagers up so they will be safe for when we get over here. Let's expose another map. There we go. Then let's shrink that down. Awesome. Okay, so that is where the village is. Look at here. We got some warm pigs. That's fun. Well, this is a pretty cool looking area. This village is definitely a mess, and we'll have to figure out something to do with that since it's so close to that mine shaft and the spider spawner. But one thing at a time. We'll get here eventually. Just run around and expose these maps since we're over here. So many rabbits. Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that I haven't done the update yet. There's still a couple of mods I'm waiting on to see if they're going to get updated soon before I do the 1.21.6. But we will get there, I promise. And I do have some interesting ideas for things we can do with the Happy Ghast. So I'm excited for that to finally arrive. Look at all the sea pickles. Well, lots more to explore. Once we get over to that mesa village, we can investigate some of the temples and the caves and the other goodies over here, and that'll be pretty fun. Let's head back to the map library and put all of these maps away. If you joined me on the live stream, you saw some of the work we did on the road over here. Obviously, Still need to build the road across the desert here. But up here at the tunnel, we got a fair amount of work done, and it's looking really good. Also did a little bit of poking around in the caves underneath this tunnel, and so got into a lush cave, got some glowberries, some moss, and some other things we hadn't encountered before. But here you can see, starting to get some work done. Went with a similar design on the ground here, and then what I did is every 4 blocks, I put in a little lantern, and then a couple of spacers, little decorative element. So it goes lantern, space, decorative, space, lantern, space, decorative, space. And then this side sort of does the same thing, but just slightly offset. And so it creates this nice, evenly lit area. This gets us down into that lush cave. And we still have a little bit more work to do here yet. Also did a little bit of work on the entrance. So when we first get to the cave, we have this sort of look now. Just some stone, a little bit of vines, and I think it looks nice. I wanted it to sort of reflect this design here with the ruinous castle tower thing, and I think we did a pretty good job there. You'll notice up here that I installed a couple more signs. I installed some signs here and over by the planning lodge. And they just sort of indicate what is in each direction. I'll keep trying out different signs and seeing how they fit in. But I think it looks real cool. Also on our live stream, we found some dogs. This one I befriended and brought him down here to the map library. But yeah, up in the hills, there's all kinds of dogs up there. Let's see, I think this one's going to go here. This one goes here. That goes there. That one goes up above it. I think this one is going to go up there. Yep. All right. So right there, you can kind of see the Mesa Village. And it's almost exactly in line with where the tunnel exits. So we'll have one road that comes down here, down to our desert village, Blakey. And then potentially we could have another road just cut across here over to the Mesa. Saturday on the live stream, you'll notice right behind me, we did a bunch of running around and we exposed the rest of the jungle island. Aside from the work on the tunnel, did a bunch of running around here. And that's where we found our dog friend, was up here in the hills. So that is Rollins, the jungle village. And here you can see the entire jungle continent, basically. So all this dark, dark green, that's jungle. And then this lighter area, that's forest. Here's the Southland. Down here we got Blakey. And right down here is that massive, massive chasm that goes all the way down to Deep Slate. And it's interesting. It's pretty much in line with our mob farm. It's cool to see how things kind of relate to each other as far as distances and things like that. Obviously a lot more work to do, but things are really, really starting to come together. Over here, we do have a couple of armor trims. And I thought somewhere we had some other armor trims as well. We did a ton of work making armor last episode. And if you remember, we have a really fantastic helmet. We have some really fantastic boots. And believe it or not, we actually had pretty good armor on our chest. All we had was protection 4 and unbreaking. And I forgot that you can't really get much else. I went ahead and put a mending book on there. Really, the only other thing we can do on a chest plate would be thorns. So this is actually absolutely fine as far as armor. We still haven't gotten any good pants yet, but things are feeling much, much better. So maybe we'll think about doing some trimming on our armor. But first, I think I want to run down to this freaky kind of chasm area here and do just a little bit of poking around. All right, this new armor is making me feel pretty confident that we're going to be just fine down there. Let's grab our boat and see if we can just cut across the water to where that big chasm was. Let's see if we can find a way down somewhere over here. So we could ride one of these water streams down. That would probably be the simplest thing to do. That one go all the way down, maybe. Yeah, let's give it a shot. All right, we are in it. Put a torch here so we kind of know where we came from. Could go down further, or we could do a little bit of a run around here. There's a lot of places for mobs to attack from. Get on this platform here. There we go. Oh, poison spiders. Whoops. The big cave. Absolutely massive. Just goes on and on. Yeah, I think it would take quite a while to kind of circumnavigate this whole thing in some way that's logical. Like, you know, if I was to try and hug the edge all the way around, we might be able to kind of figure out how it's laid out. Wow, that's a lot of creepers. Real hard to see. Like there's another mine shaft over here. Wow. Yeah, it's just absolutely enormous. That was really close. Weirdly, this whole mine shaft seems to be exposed. Like it doesn't go underground at all. Kind of weird. It's going to start to get really treacherous as the mobs keep kind of spawning behind me. And then once the sun goes down, it's going to get dark everywhere. I'm going to make a run for it here. See if we can get back out. Very cool. We ended up getting 15 deep slate ore, which is a really great haul as far as diamonds go. Better than any mining session I've ever done, so that was definitely worth it. The mine shaft parts were a little bit of a bust. Not much to see or explore there. Yikes. grab our horse. We'll head back towards the map library, put some of our goodies away, and see if we can get started on our storage facility. All right, tie up our horse. And then just a little bit down the road here is where I'm thinking I want to build a storage facility. Initially, when we started building villages and things, we had projects that were kind of all over the place. And so it made sense to have some storage at each of the villages. And, you know, it's still nice to have some storage there to keep stuff while we work on projects. But it's just getting really hard to keep track of my inventory. You know, if I have diamond ore, is this all the diamond ore I have? Do I have more over at Coltrane? Do I have more at Mingus? It's hard to tell. And so I want to come up with a place to put it all centrally. I'm not sure exactly how big this space is going to be. I think today what we'll do is we'll just start knocking some trees out so we can make some room. And I did a little bit of research on automated storage facilities and storage rooms that use a lot of redstone, and I didn't find any that were reliable or really made a lot of sense to me. It's not that hard to manually sort things, and a lot of the redstone takes up a ton of room, uses a ton of resources, and it breaks all the time, so you have to constantly maintain it. So we're going to do something a little different. Typically, my storage rooms are really symmetrical, and this one's definitely not going to be. I have a really different idea for how to approach this, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. This is the beginning of our central storage facility. Not a lot going on yet, just a wall, a door, and a little bit of a platform. We're going to kind of mirror what's going on over at the map library and do two-tone wood. So instead of oak and spruce, we're going to do birch and oak. And then we'll use stone as our primary building material. So the two buildings will sort of look like they go together. We're going to have a little bit of an entryway. I'm not sold on the birch door yet because I can't see out. We'll see how that goes. And then once we walk in, we're going to have these columns that will continue through the center. And then there's going to be these areas that will be various sizes, and they are going to be themed. So for example, here we will have our stone, different types of stone blocks, things like that. And then here we might have wool, and then here we'll have wood, and we'll have different pockets to place all of the different stuff in. It's going to be real kind of patchworky, but I think it's going to be real cool. Between episodes, I'm going to do a little bit of thinking about how many clusters there's going to be, which ones are most important, which ones do I want closest to the front, etc. And then next episode, we'll get to work on moving all of the stuff we've got across this whole world into the storage facility. And that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. If you want to be like these folks and help support the channel, click join down below or scan the code on the screen. And thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.